on their feet to give Swathi and Rishi the warmest of welcome.
want to show some appreciation to Swathi and Rishi. So we've got a couple of performances lined up. First of all, can I welcome the Mukherjee family for the first dance performance.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are here to celebrate Rishi and Swathi's wedding reception. Let's see how it all started. So, here is the love story of Rishi and Swathi. After this encounter, Rishi went to meet Swathi at her house.
अरे अंगना में बाबा दुआरे पे माँ कैसे आए गोरी हम तोहरे घर माँ अरे अंगना में बाबा दुआरे पे माँ अंगना में बाबा दुआरे पे माँ कैसे आए गोरी हम तोहरे घर माँ कैसे आए गोरी हम तोहरे घर माँ
खेत गए बाबा बाजार गइल माँ खेत गए बाबा बाजार गइल माँ अकेले हूँ घर माँ तू आजा बाल माँ अकेले हूँ घर माँ तू आजा बाल माँ
And the romance blossomed.
किसी डिस्को में जाए किसी होटल में खाए हो किसी डिस्को में जाए किसी होटल में खाए कोई देख लेना हमें यहाँ कहीं घूम के आए हम चलो इश्क लड़ाए चलो इश्क लड़ाए चलो इश्क लड़ाए सनम हो चलो इश्क लड़ाए चलो इश्क लड़ाए चलो इश्क लड़ाए सनम
किसी डिस्को में जाए और किसी होटल में खाए और किसी डिस्को में जाए किसी होटल में खाए कोई देख लेना हमें यहाँ कहीं घूम के आए हम चलो इश्क लड़ाए चलो इश्क लड़ाए चलो इश्क लड़ाए सनम चलो इश्क लड़ाए चलो इश्क लड़ाए चलो इश्क लड़ाए सनम
They decided it's time to get married as they realized they couldn't live without each other anymore.
लाल चुनरिया वाली कोई घर मेरे भी लाओ अरे लाल चुनरिया वाली कोई घर मेरे भी लाओ मैं कुंवारा कब तक बैठूं बैंड मेरा बजवाओ अरे जैसे भी चलता है चक्कर चलाओ मेरी शादी करवाओ मेरी शादी करवाओ मेरी शादी करवाओ मेरी शादी करवाओ लाल चुनरिया वाली कोई घर मेरे भी लाओ मैं कुंवारा कब तक बैठूं बैंड मेरा बजवाओ अरे जैसे भी चलता है चक्कर चलाओ मेरी शादी करवाओ मेरी शादी करवाओ मेरी शादी करवाओ मेरी शादी करवाओ
अगर तुम स्वाति से इतना प्यार करते हो तो हमें भी लड़की पसंद है
Now it's Swathi's turn to introduce Rishi to her parents.
माए नी माए मुंडेर पे तेरी बोल रहा है कागा माए नी माए मुंडेर पे तेरी बोल रहा है कागा जोगन हो गई तेरी दुलारी मन जोगी संग लागा माए नी माए मुंडेर पे तेरी बोल रहा है कागा जोगन हो गई तेरी दुलारी मन जोगी संग लागा
How can we be sure that you will keep our daughter happy? जोरू, दिल की धड़कन में जोरू, मेरी आंखों में जोरू, मेरी सांसों में जोरू। अरे आगे जोरू, पीछे जोरू, दाएं जोरू, बाएं जोरू, जोरू 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 जोरू। शाम सवेरे अब मैं जोरू जोरू कहूंगा, मैं जोरू का गुलाम बन के रहूंगा। मैं तो जोरू का गुलाम, जोरू जोरू का गुलाम बन के रहूंगा। शाम सवेरे अब मैं जोरू जोरू कहूंगा, मैं जोरू का गुलाम अरे बन के रहूंगा। मैं जोरू का गुलाम, जोरू जोरू का गुलाम बन के रहूंगा।
जा बेटी जा, तुझे इससे ज्यादा प्यार कोई नहीं कर सकता।
ले जाएंगे दिल वाले दुल्हनिया ले जाएंगे। ले जाएंगे दिल वाले दुल्हनिया ले जाएंगे। ले जाएंगे दिल वाले दुल्हनिया ले जाएंगे। ले जाएंगे दिल वाले दुल्हनिया ले जाएंगे।
पिंगा मला पिंग्यानी माला बोलवली रात घालवली पोरी पिंगा। लटपट कमर दामिनी अधर रागिनी हो। लटपट कमर दामिनी अधर रागिनी, मेरे घर आई कैसी सजी धजी देखो मेरे पिया की सारी जिया से बारी। मेरे अंगना में देखो आज खिला है चांद। गे बाजे धुन झम झम झमाके झा, तो नाच मन झम झम झमाके झा। पिंगा गपोरी पिंगा गपोरी पिंगा गपोरी पिंगा। पिंगा गपोरी पिंगा गपोरी पिंगा गपोरी पिंगा। मेरे जिया में उतारी तूने नैनी पिया की कटारी। हाँ तू जाने दुनियादारी, मैं तो हूँ बस मोहब्बत की मारी। जो भी तेरी है सो मेरे तेरे आए, दोनों की मांग लगे सुनी आधी आधी ना। के बाजे धुन झम झम झमाके झा, तो नाच मन झम झम झमाके झा। के बाजे धुन झम झम झमाके झा, तो नाच मन झम झम झमाके झा। पिंगा गपोरी पिंगा गपोरी पिंगा गपोरी पिंगा। पिंगा गपोरी पिंगा गपोरी पिंगा गपोरी पिंगा। पिंगा गपोरी पिंगा गपोरी पिंगा गपोरी पिंगा। पिंगा गपोरी पिंगा गपोरी पिंगा गपोरी पिंगा।
Hi everyone.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for coming over with your families and friends and making this occasion a memorable one. Hope you are all having a lovely time so far this evening. Traditionally, it's only bride's father who gives speech, but Swathi insisted that mothers should speak as well. That's the reason I'm here. And Swathi has warned me that I should not enlist all her achievements in her sports, music, drama, dance, etc., etc. So I have to be very careful now. Swathi, when she was, or even now, she loves listening to the stories. I used to narrate her stories every night before she goes to bed, before she goes off to sleep. And her favorite stories are Clifford the Red Puppy and Emperor's New Clothes. And I have narrated this story innumerable number of times, even when she was in secondary school. Okay? And she loves watching movies, and she has made me watch Matilda with her more than 50 times. She's a very brave girl. She has traveled to several countries on her own. But one thing which scares her is the tiny moth. Swathi, you look gorgeous, as you always do. I can proudly say that you are not beautiful just from outside looks. You are beautiful in your thoughts and action as well. Swathi knows exactly what she wants, and she will work really hard to achieve it. She likes to do everything under the sun, and she will keep herself busy, and she keeps all of us, whoever is around her, busy. For example, I just want to tell one example. In 2012, she participated in the Olympic opening ceremony dance. She danced and left the stadium after 1 o'clock in the morning. She traveled straight, went to Heathrow, board the flight to go to Kilimanjaro to join her friends who had already started the climb, and she climbed the mountain without any rest. This shows her determination and perseverance. She is very committed, hardworking, and more importantly, she loves fun and adventure. From now on, it is Rishi's turn to support her busy schedule. And I know Rishi well over the past 4 years, and I'm convinced Swathi has made the right choice. He is equally ambitious and hardworking. I had the pleasure of seeing them playing Scrabble and other board games at home. I ensure there are no sharp objects or hard objects around us and be on alert. That's how competitive they are. I wish them both a successful career and very happy married life. Let's raise for Swathi and Rishi. Cheers.
Right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to join my wife and bridegroom's parents as well in welcoming all of you to this wonderful evening gathering. And I really appreciate people who have traveled from far for partaking in this wonderful occasion. As always, ladies first. And how wonderfully my wife spoke. Rishi, do you get this hint? This small piece of advice will get you a happily married life forever. Praise the Lord, praise the lady. Speaking of the lady who is just married, I knew a star was born. It's the most shining star in the skies as per the South Indian mythology, and that is Swathi. So I named her Swathi because I knew she is going to be a star, and she never disappointed me. During her early years, I moved her through various schools and various countries as well, because many of you working in the NHS know how we pack bags every 6 months and go to a different hospital, different town. And she put up with all that and went through various schools, and that is what made her strong, and Her willpower is phenomenal, and she has that urge to achieve against all odds. Swathi swam 22 miles, the length of English Channel, to raise money, busked at various railway stations, and donated her long hair, which used to be in the past, some of you may know. All this for charity. And Swathi always had this compassionate streak in her. And no wonder, despite warnings from doctor parents, that life can be very tough. Evening on calls, weekend work, unpredictable social hours work. Despite all this, she chose to enter uni medicine. And then she went through MBBS. All 5 years she went through merit and distinction, and now she is, after the wedding, she completed her graduation as well, and she's going to start as FI1. Really proud of you. An unforgettable moment of glory was when she ran the Olympic March for being model citizen in 2012, when the Olympics came to London, and also she danced at the opening ceremony. And it made whole sets of relatives and friends proud at that moment. Swathi is a very positive thinking lady, and there is never a dull moment in her life. Swathi has always loved challenges. She did zip lining in Peru between mountains, and she was taming the tigers in Thailand, and she was cuddling the cobras in Chennai. All this.
But she's afraid of moths.
All this despite motherly objections. And I have always supported her because I know she is adventurous yet sensible. So I go with everything she proposes. No wonder, Swathi, you are my pet, dad's pet. Of course, there are times when mom and daughter, they gang up and put me in the doghouse. That has happened several occasions. Dattas are very good family friends, and Rishi is an ambitious, talented young man. When I first met Rishi, he came across as a simple, humble man of few words, but many talents and ambitions. Rishi is fiercely competitive, as my wife already mentioned, and so is Swathi. My most tense moments are watching them play board games, as I told you already, like my wife said. Of course, Swathi and Rishi are perfect match that they win alternately. They are always on par. Swathi has always made the right choices in life, and her choice of life partner tops it all. We never regretted having only one child, because we could devote our 100% attention and love to Swathi. And now we have a son, not only in law but in life. At the recent wedding in India, two people came together, two families got together amidst tears of joy. From our own experience, I want to give a bit of advice to that couple now. Find every opportunity to appreciate and every little excuse to celebrate every little act of your spouse. Yeah? That goes a long way towards a long, happy married life. Independence and interdependence. They are the two wheels of smooth running family machine. Keep them in balance. Okay? And communication skills are vital, especially for Rishi. Active listening skills. If you develop that, you will be a very good husband and you will go a long way in the marriage. Trust me, I followed that from day one, and you will see what we are doing now. 25 years down the line. We feel blessed and wish the young couple all the very best in the journey ahead for years to come. Please raise a glass to celebrate their relationship.
Hello everyone. I don't usually read a speech, but there's so much to say about Rishi. So bear with me. Here I am, the father of the groom, a very happy day for me, and thank you all for sharing this day with me. The last 4 weeks has been very momentous, as many of you know that both my sons got married within this time. And thanks to all who planned and worked so hard in the last several months to make this happen. Today is for Rishi and Swathi and all his well-wishers. Today we meet to say, may you two have a very happy future together. As a father, I can say that it all happened just the other day. I mean, when little Rishi was born. Of course, I got to give some of the credit to my wife, Meenakshi, as well. It was when we moved from the sunny shores of Pondicherry to the gleaming glens of Londonderry. And that's where little Rishi was born, in an exotic hospital called the Galvin. In his toddler days, everyone loved little Rishi because of his naughty smile and baby accent. Soon we discovered that luckily he was intelligent as well. He was always very good with numbers, and he translated the numbers into money. So as he grew up, he had dollar signs in his eyes. If you look closely, you might see it. There were never any problems with his progress in school, and we were proud, particularly when he got his form prize in St. Olave's. And soon he was in university. Have you heard of a young man from a Bengali family going to Fitzwilliam College in Cambridge and getting a first class? Oh well, I'm actually talking about Subhash Chandra Bose. But Rishi did the same as well. And we are particularly proud that he got a triple first. Of course, you may rightly object to the fact that I'm only singing praises because I'm his dad. And of course, I know all his faults. But we are not here today to listen to all those things, are we? So I will not tell you about how aggressive he is. Rajgopal and Uma have already told you that. And he can be, especially when it comes to competition, entirely unlike his dad or his mom. But try to have an argument with him. Try beating him in Scrabble or Monopoly. OMG. All his teachers in school, they had to have an explanation for every mark they took out of 100. Meenakshi and I felt relieved when Rishi met Swathi. A girl who by herself is just as competitive, just as ambitious, just as adventurous. To win her over, Rishi would have had to compromise with his ego. And he did. When she climbed up Kilimanjaro, he climbed Mount Meru. For example. So what we call it as made for each other in our days. They are now sharing each other's talents. Let me say how pleased I was to see them both dance on stage in Chennai recently. And I hope that in the future, it's all about loving and sharing and caring. And never losing hope. Now, let me read out a poem which Rishi wrote when he was in 6th year in school. Now, the poem is written in his own handwriting and is displayed on the wall in the kitchen next to the fridge. Ever since, it has been there for so many years that no one ever notices it and we hardly notice it. But a couple of days ago, when I was taking the lunch out of the fridge, I saw it again. I read it again. And here's how it goes. This is written by Rishi. I want to ski like a pro. As I watch the swift, smooth skiers pro, swerving, swirling, swishing, increasing speed like a ball of snow rolling down a hill. The skier is amazing as he twists and turns, dodging rocks which are angry giants, trying to stop people on their way. His skis are getting out of control. He slips and crashes onto a rock. And then the whooshing sound goes tumbling down, tumbling, tumbling. But wait, there he is again, going at a massive speed. He looks like he's enjoying it. There he goes, swishing and twisting, like nothing has ever happened again. I want to ski like a pro. Well, like in his own poem, I want to say that both Rishi and Swathi get through your life like a skier. Never lose hope, Even if there are obstacles, get up again and continue and swish and twist and enjoy it all. And so let me now, along with Meenakshi, raise a toast to Swathi and Rishi to their wonderful, exciting future married life.
Can we give it a big round of applause for Rishi's parents for a beautiful speech? And I know what you're all thinking now. We've heard from Swathi's parents, we've heard from Rishi's parents. Why not let's hear from both of them? Here you go, guys.
Okay, good evening everybody. I hope you're all having fun. Don't worry, I'm not going to tell you any more poems tonight. I hope you're enjoying yourself, and thank you to the parents for your very kind words so far.
So again, I know it's not traditional for the bride to make a speech at her own wedding, but for anyone who knows me, you know it's quite hard to shut me up. So I'll try and keep it short and sweet though, because I'm quite keen to see my dad on the dance floor.
Yeah, I on the other hand want to just keep going on and on about my beautiful life, of course. So try and stay awake, seriously. I'm really happy that Swathi agreed to give half of this speech with me today, and she would like me to emphasise at this point that this was my decision and I was not pressured into it in any way whatsoever.
So there aren't many times in your life when you have your family and your closest friends together in the same room. So we're really, really happy that all of you can make it here today, because otherwise, well, quite frankly, we'd have a lot of food to get through. So on behalf of both Rishi and me, I'd like to say a really heartfelt thank you, especially to all of our friends, who've not only helped out a lot today, but who've stood by us over the years and been there when we needed someone. So you guys all know who you are. A big thank you to Lauren and all of the girls for an amazing time in Barcelona, and of course to Jamie and Sutton tonight, who are doing a great job at emptying this event.
And I just wanted to add my own vote of thanks to our friends, so from OLAS to Newstead, from Cambridge to UCL and beyond. And so a special shout out to the stag crew sitting here today. I'm pretty happy that I made it to today after all that we went through over there. And to my best man, my brother, and the man who's about to roast me in the next speech, I just wanted to thank you very much for being the kind, caring, and overall forgiving person that you are. And thank you to everyone for your best wishes, and your very generous gifts as well. I'm sure Swathi's going to let me have a few of them, maybe. So thank you for those. Of course, the most important set of thank yous has to go to our parents today. To my parents for sort of making the sacrifices that got us here today, for taking the time to make me who I am, and to Swathi's parents for, among many other things, giving me their daughter's hand in marriage.
So, of course, Mum, Dad, thank you for all the emotional, practical, and mainly financial support leading up to today. Still yet to earn my first paycheck. You've given me the confidence to believe that I can achieve anything I want in life if I put my mind to it. Even winning an argument against Rishi takes some doing. Today, remember that you haven't lost a daughter, and as you said, you've gained a son and another liability. But we're both extremely grateful for everything that you do for us. And to my new mother and father-in-law, I'm so lucky now to have not one, but two sets of parents, which means two sets of birthday Christmas presents, right? So thank you so much for welcoming me into your family, and of course for raising Rishi to be the wonderful man he is today.
Okay, and we just wanted to save a couple of lines today for the people who are not with us in the room today, although given how spooky that was, maybe they are. We want to extend our thanks for all of the decisions that they made to bring, and we know clearly they're here with us in spirit. So now this is where I would talk about Swathi, but being the gent that I am, and in this liberal world, I'd love for the lady to go first.
Why, thank you. So, taking it back to the beginning, when I first met Rishi, I thought, wow, What a big-headed know-it-all. I actually gave him the nickname of the Ice Prince because of the cool, calm banker exterior that he liked to portray. So as we were getting to know each other, social media was our main interaction back then. We used to have fairly profound conversations, and that's when I got to know that beneath all of that, there was a real person. So, what was it that attracted me first to the handsome, debonair Rishi? Was it his many talks about Napoleon, or the way that he told me how to differentiate an A380 from a 747 plane? Or his less known sweet side. The first time he cooked for me, we lost a pan and a few of his fingers. Or perhaps the second time he cooked for me, which resulted in a lingering smell of garlic and ended in a takeaway. So, all kidding aside, Rishi's been a wonderful partner, and I'm going to embarrass him slightly by telling you all the sweet things he's done for me over the years. From surprising me with flowers on Valentine's Day, to leaving me small notes and messages when he's not around, and making me a personalized birthday video. And he got videos from all of my friends and family. And the best one, as already mentioned, was the fact that he danced with me at our wedding, which I know for him is something that he really doesn't like to do. So I thought, wow, this guy must love me. So Rishi has always been a really generous and giving person, and he goes above and beyond for his friends and family. He's been my rock through all the tough times, and definitely is a sound source of advice. He's always stood up really passionately for what he thinks is right, which didn't go down well with some of his teachers and his professors. So, as has already been mentioned, most of our fights are usually a consequence of board games. And I read up some recent marriage advice. So we should never go to bed mad, we should stay up and fight. But Rishi, you really are the perfect man for me. You're intelligent, funny, ambitious, competitive, which is a good thing, and good at heart, though not necessarily in that order. I remember through our first conversations being struck with a really strong connection. And as a lot of you might know, Rishi and I don't share too many hobbies and interests. He loves flying. I get really travel sick. He loves history. I think I'm more of a geography or, maths person. But more importantly, we have the same life goals, the same priorities, and I think the same sense of what's right and wrong in life. So I feel like over the last few years, we've become adults together and hopefully shaped each other into becoming better people. I really can't wait to start the next chapter of our lives together, and I love you so much. So I'd like to end with a quote from Far From the Madding Crowd, if anyone did that at GCSE. Turns out it does come in handy. So it reads, "At home by the fire, whenever you look up, I shall be there, and whenever I look up, there will be you." So would everyone please join me in raising a glass to my fantastic husband, to Rishi.
That one's going to be pretty difficult to follow, but I promised you all a long saga about Swathi, so as I said, stay awake, here goes. Let me first just say how happy I am to be married to Swathi, and how fortunate we both are that everything fell into place to actually lead us to this moment. I want to take you all back to the heady days of sixth form. So school those days, at that age, it's a vortex of politics and emotion. I just wanted to keep my head down and do well, but Swathi was very different. She navigated school like a pro. I mean, she had a group of friends, like loyal and fun, and they're still with her today. So, I mean, she was more outwardly confident than any girl that I'd seen, and yet she managed to stay academically incredible. I mean, I just couldn't work out how she did this. But amidst all of that vivaciousness and that humor, she was always a girl with the future in her eyes, and I think I saw that from the start. And she had the most admirable spirit that I had ever seen. So we were not particularly close at school, but of all the people I'd met up to that point, because of those reasons, I was very curious about her, and I wanted to know her more. Now, people know me as a very cool guy, of course. I mean, I practically personify it. So the next part may be quite surprising to you.
while all of my friends were out clubbing, getting lashed, etc., I would leave early, believe it or not, and sit at home, and we would have these profound conversations that Swathi described on Skype together. I mean, we would just come home, there was a period nearly every day we would just come back and talk to each other. I just wanted to figure her out. I mean, we would exchange our thoughts, our ideas, our dreams, and I can't remember talking to anybody so deeply and for so long. To me, it just felt so easy. It came to a head one night when I went home, and so I was at home and we were on the phone, and we finally hung up after a long time, and I looked at the time and it was 6 a.m. and I think to this day that's probably the longest phone call that I've had outside of work. So I think that was my first clue that there was actually some sort of spark between us. And I remember during New Year's Eve in 2012, and Swathi loves it when I tell her these anecdotes, of course, but she was dressed up in Indian clothes, much like she is today. She was dancing around with a smile on her face, and I don't know if you guys remember, but at that age, when you dance, you just kind of dance because you kind of have to. You have to get to know people, you have to mix it. But she was dancing and she loved it, and she was smiling, she was dragging people up. And some of my friends will tell you, after I saw that, for me, there was just no going back. Anyway, so we dated, and it was literally the most exciting thing in the world for me. I loved so many things about her from the start. Simultaneously competitive and down-to-earth nature, her creativity, her care for her friends. The list goes on. We did work on our relationship. We hit some of the crunch times in our studies and in our careers together. But I think it made us stronger as a couple. And Swathi was always there when I needed her. I remember there was this one amazing weekend, eventually, in October 2015, when I realized I just had to marry her. And so the proposal was in the works for quite some time. And on the day, I was quite nervous. At one point during the evening, I asked her to change into a dress, and I happened to choose the classy location of McDonald's for her to do this, a detail which she continues to remind me of today. I then rushed off ahead to surprise her, and she had to walk in high heels on the icy pavement to get back to the flat, where I proposed. Yeah, I really made her work for it, but luckily she said yes. It was the best decision I ever made. Swathi, perhaps the single best thing about you is that you care to make me a better man, and you care to change the world. We share our dream, and you want us to succeed. We keep each other happy and ambitious, and that, in my mind, is the rarest of combinations. You are my best friend, my closest counsel, and the woman of my dreams. You help me appreciate the beauty of reality like nobody else. So I love you deeply, from now and hopefully to our next lives together. So I hope you will all join me in raising a glass to the girl that I love. Ladies and gentlemen, wife, Swathi. Cheers.
Very positive. Right, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Agnish, I'm Rishi's brother, I was also best man. So I've got a chance now to get my own back on Rishi, who was my best man at my wedding last week. He didn't let anything slide. And I won't let anything slide either. So, my job in this speech is to try and tell you what Swathi gets in this deal of marrying Rishi. It's quite obvious what Rishi gets. Swathi looking very lovely today. We've already heard all her achievements. She's very, very ambitious. She travels. She's academically excellent, socially excellent. It's obvious. But what does Swathi get? Rishi. I noticed everyone else is reading. I've not written anything because I tried and I'm just going to have to riff it, I'm afraid. Anyway, so the way we can work out, what Rishi offers is by maybe going back. So obviously I've grown up with Rishi. So let's start. Rishi was a frustrating brother originally. Apart from fighting like all brothers do, there'd be a lot of times where I'd want to, play sports. And I'd ask, hey Rishi, you want to go out and play some sports? He'd be like, nah. One winter, I remember, it was lovely, it was snowing, and I was like, Rishi, hey, you want to go out? Let's build a snowman. I'm not making this up. And then he was like, no. I was like, why? Nah. Well, I went out by myself and built a stumpy snowman. A few years later, a film called Frozen came out. Made us quite rich. Anyway, Then, as I say, things improved as the years went on. Rishi came to one of my football practices, and I still remember, this is brilliant. At the end of all the football practices, there would be a session where you all took penalties, and every penalty you scored, you'd get a point. And I remember looking back at Rishi about to take his first penalty. It was amazing, gold. He runs up, he's like focused on the ball. He runs, is he good? And then he falls over. And then the ball, and the ball just rolls away. I never let him forget it. Every day I'd tell him about it. He never came back. So that was his football career over. And then he did his usual defense mechanism of pretending I did it, which obviously wasn't true. But anyway, he grew up, he became it's not all negative. I mean, there were other things. He found his sport in the end, chess. And we started to get on a lot more. We started to find common interests. He learned the ways of Tupac, and we bonded over music. We got onto more common ground, and I realized that he became a very ambitious. What struck me about Rishi from a very early age is just how focused and ambitious he was. While I was out building snowmen and dominating the world of football on the PlayStation, he was sitting down and analyzing what he was going to do with his life. And he talked to people, and he worked out that, say, banking was for him and this career was for him. And not only career, but he also wanted to find the right woman. He wanted to start a family, and this is what he was thinking about while I was still being a child. So this is what's telling me that Swathi and Rishi are going to be so successful together is that they spent a lot of time, as you've just heard, really getting to know each other, really making sure that they shared a common goal, that they shared their dream. They're both very ambitious. They both want to make major changes in the world, and that's all jokes aside, I think he actually has been a very good brother to have. Been very he's argumentative, but then you just give him the space. But I've never had to worry about him. I've never had to really, rescue him from anything. I've never had to push him. He's always been very self-motivated, and he always does things for himself. And he and Swathi are both equally high achieving and ambitious, and I'm sure they're going to go the whole hog. And me and my new wife, we're all looking forward to going forward in this new chapter together of marriage and the next few steps of life, maybe even family. So before I go and let you all get on the dance floor, I want to give a shout out to the stag crew. Not many of us here, but we're here. We gave Rishi a good send off. We went over to Las Vegas. What happened there stays there. But I can say that I did prevent him from losing all his money, because whatever he may tell you, he tends to lose when he gambles. And I think he went pretty hard, because when we went to Utah for the next session, we were going to do a trek. He was in bed for 48 hours. So I think we pushed him to his limit, I did check, he was breathing like the whole time. It was all right, it's okay. But he made it. So big shout out to that. Well done. He's looking very fine. He wasn't. Just before I go, you should know that he wasn't always this slim and muscular. He used to be a chubby chap in the old days, before he found his sport. Anyway, right. Okay. Well, I just want to say cheers to the new couple, and all jokes aside, he's actually an all right guy. All right. Take care. Cheers.
I'm afraid we don't actually have anything to say. We're just up here. We have a little poem, because we were told we were going last and needed to be really quick so you could all, have cake and dance. So.
May these vows and this marriage be blessed.
May it be dancing in the kitchen every day.
May it be sweet limericks left in love and bubbling champagne.
May it be a Disney film full of smiles. Your every day, a day in paradise.
May this marriage be a sign of compassion.
Yeah. A seal of happiness here and hereafter.
May this marriage weave your dreams together.
And grow in strength and understanding.
Rishi and Swathi, let us bless this day for you.
As you embark on an eternal adventure.
would like to introduce ourselves. We are Jenny and Lauren, friends from school. We are here to celebrate wedding bells.
We must start where this story began, in a certain hot room at school, where we became a clan.
We were inseparable from the beginning, spending our study time discussing Olav's boys. Don't worry, Rishi, you are clearly winning.
We knew Rishi and Swathi were meant to be, when in a Monopoly game, Rishi kept asking Swathi, make a deal with me.
We knew right there it was true love. With a spring in his step and big wad of green cash, Swathi and Rishi won over and above.
We knew Rishi had won her heart when he went and bought her a big candy floss maker, and that was only the start.
Rishi and Swathi spent their days travelling the world and discussing the meaning of life. The soulmates began to merge their pathways.
With a mobile in one hand and a map in the other, Rishi took Swathi on a trip down memory lane, touring around London, seeing all places they had been to with each other.
Rishi the romantic finished the tour back at Swati's flat and got down on one knee. Please note the massive ring. Who could say no to that?
With the rock that sank the Titanic on her left hand, Swathi and Rishi spent their time preparing for this special occasion. We thank you for being here and are glad that everything is going as planned.
We can feel the anticipation of you wanting to know about the hen do. We can safely say it was a sensible affair, but there is something we are willing to share with you.
All we can say is to Hector, man, that he had good skills.
All the beauty preparations have taken a while. We regret to inform the bride that she didn't need to invest. She is clearly the best looking by a mile.
It is important to say Swathi is fun-loving, caring and competitive. Everything Rishi could want each day.
Swati's ambition knows no bounds. She has climbed mountains, carried the Olympic torch, and gotten over her ever-important teen crush on her chemistry teacher. Now for her next job, she will be making the rounds.
Dr. and Mr. Dutta, that has a ring to it. Poor Rishi, he didn't even get a minute to cherish the missus. At least Swathi can be a proper nurse for man flu. She has the medical kit.
We have had many good times together as a group. Our girly sleepovers, dinners and holidays, always keeping each other in the loop.
We see this marriage as a union amongst friends. We would like to extend our warmest welcome to Rishi. You are now the only bloke that contends.
We are very grateful for being part of your special day. Rishi and Swathi are perfect for each other, and we wouldn't have it any other way.
And with that we end and wish you adieu. Please enjoy the generosity of free drinks and be sure to have more than a few.
Okay, so that's a lot of people saying a lot of lovely things about Swathi and Rishi. And now we've got their moment to shine, particularly Rishi's. Desserts will be served soon, but first is the first dance between Swathi and Rishi.
It's for the way you look, A1, I see. V is very, very extraordinary. E is even more than anyone that you adore can love. Is all that I can give to you. Love is more than just a game for two. And love can make it. Take my heart and please don't break it. Love was made for me and Let's see what I think.